All right. Let's see here. Yeah. All right. Well, as I was saying before, hopefully my audio is set properly this time. Yes. Here's the thing. Um, okay, I'm going to go over for my dissertation from the very start, my elocution from the very start. No. Well, considering we had nobody tune in, it's not like this is the most treasured information, but essentially, again, what we're doing right now, is a result of a back and forth with a potential publisher of the game, and essentially, they had been asking, "Hey, we want to see your minimum viable product," and I said, "Okay, we'll send it to you." And they've reviewed, the last two versions, betas that we've released, and they pointed out something that is absolutely relevant. And it's no shock that what they said it, but they basically said, for I mean, I'll paraphrase, but for a game about exploration and learning and stuff and story, there really isn't much there right now. And I had to go, I absolutely agree, because we've been just so busy trying to make sure that everything works as it should. you know um just make sure I got this. Yeah. um on the back end, because we can't get the cats interacting with anything reliably until we know how they interact with things, how they move, how they where the colliders are, how to set up those things. And thankfully, we have started. We've got that now to the point that when the publishers mentioned that to us, it was absolutely no big, shock to us. It's just like, it was just sort of like, okay, it's time for us to start working on that. And I kind of like it because it involves a lot of graphic design. And I mean, that's what I went to school for. And I really dig graphic design. It's just one of those things that when I'm working, it's, when everything just, where God is in the details and everything just has to be just so, you know. And by the way, there are no spoilers here that I'm probably. Oh, James, yes, James. And there you go. Like I said, and like I said at the beginning, I'm just going over the territory that I mentioned before. But um, essentially, we are going through right now and producing. It's going to over the next couple of weeks. I produced about 6 documents today. I think I'm going to be producing a lot. Let's just say a lot over the next few months, or no, sorry, for the next few weeks, because we really do want more content in there. I mean, when the cats go into, I mean, and when the cat wakes up, there should be stuff on just about every surface that's of interest, or there should be so many things of interest in every room. And so that's what we're trying to sparkle about right now is. And also, when you place those objects, you have to keep the story you're telling, the mini story that you're telling in mind in the placement of the objects. It's sort of like, again, sort of like set design, sort of, but it's sort of set designs mixed with storytelling, and that's kind of cool in its own way. Because for cat wakes up in here, they see these documents, and it's like, okay, that gets a little bit of information. And of course, as soon as they get over here and they come out the other side on top of this box here, they see, oh, there are other letters and documents over there that I can go see. And that deepens, the stuff a little bit, so on and so forth. And I don't know why I'm not afraid of like showing spoilers. Is number one, inside of Unity, even at Ultra, and I need to move this over to very low because I can move work faster. The quality, you can't really read the documents. And number two, let's just say that part of storytelling is misdirection. That's what I'm going to leave you with. Good storytelling is misdirecting people, especially in video games. And I'm rarely somebody to really give kudos to the people over at South Park. I have not been a fan of those guys since their first couple of cartoons. They've turned, I mean, right now they've jumped on the anti-capitalism bandwagon because of course I mean, for the same reason that they did a Broadway play, because they know that they're good marketers and they know what sells. And but they did this. It was at some university where they just literally talked about storytelling, and it was just something that needed to be said just so simply. And I never heard it said so simply. And then and when you're writing, it should never be A happens, B happens, C happens, and then all of a sudden this happens. That is lazy story writing, and it's a major reason why I think that a movie by Denis Villeneuve about aliens from about 2016 sucks. Anyway, because that was a classic example of ABC and happening, and then suddenly, because what it should be in any kind of writing is A happens, B happens because of A, C happens because of C, and then something happens because of A, B, and C. Or, something has to lead to something other, something coming out of the blue and just going, whoa, upending everything is lazy writing. And they never, I'd have to, like, you could find just look for South Park writers, on writing college lecture. And again, I'm not a fan of the guys, but they really broke it down very well. Um, let's see, is that oh, no, no, that's actually a label. And that's another piece of misdirection, because up here, you don't know if that's a letter or a label. Is it a letter or a label? So you want to go everywhere. So really, and over in the other place, we want to go over and see how many interactable objects we have, excuse me, to make sure we have a consistent number, a bit of lore on each page. Or, each page, which is in some way, each room is as sort of a page of a book. Over here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Over here are 6. I think 6 pieces of information around a given room are okay, but really maybe one other thing. I know exactly. No, that has to go in the bedroom. Hold on for a moment. I'll badge. Let's see. Oh, there we go. This is a bit of backstory. I mean, like I said, the game is not just about the cats; it's about their owners, and we are create. I mean, it's all about the humans as well. All the people used to live on the island, and we know what each one of them looks like. We have photographs of them. We know, where they went to school, where they were born, et cetera, where they met their wife, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, where they served in the military. And again, everybody, all these humans are connected. It's, that's, I don't want to sound like, the Warshawskis when they did Cloud Atlas. It's like, oh, everything's connected. But yeah, I kind of like that. It's a way of like just concisely tying everything together. And yeah, this is Nicholas Meyer. He is the owner of, he is the human that lives with Liz. He's Liz's human, and he used to work for a company called Infinite Horizons Laboratories, where futures are forged. And yeah, we've got that's his like at work badge, and I think that would be a neat thing to have up there. But really, considering it's something that he would have with his clothing, I think it would be something best put into his bedroom, because right now I think we only have about 1 or 2 objects in there that can be integrated, interacted with. And one of the things I want to put a book on his bookside, his bedside table. So that's where you learn how to read a book. And I mean, now that now that we do have this thing that allows us to do the page turny thing. Before, magazines were just supposed to be, a front cover, but now, considering cats can run through books, we should have it like, each magazine has about 4 pages that people can go through. And I mean, I really love just games that have a lot of lore and stuff that you can find out about them. So I love adding that sort of stuff. So yeah, on his bedside table would be there. And I'm thinking of getting him a better bedside table. There would be actually a little, let's see, cabinet. Let's see if we have a better thing that Nicholas can use as his bedside table. Because that sucks. That's just stupid. I mean, I'm offended at that table. That table's for tools. You suck, table. Get out of my scene. How come you've been here for so long? You suck. Oh. Anyway, no. It's so. I mean, what do I type in? Armoire, dresser. Let's see. No dresser. I already tried cabinet. Um. Hmm. Oh goodness, what do we do? Oh, T prefab. That's every prefab in the whole damn project. What's another word for? I mean, bedside table. I think a table. Maybe it's on a table. What? You're saying we don't have any tables? Okay, there we go. What? What? And actually, I don't like this where it shows you the thumbnail. I actually just prefer the list, and that way I can take a look over on the right hand side. It's quicker and easier. And before our friend here, James in London, pointed out that I was literally just broadcasting nothing. Uh, I was talking about games, writing in games, and I think I've gone on long enough about the Outer Wilds, and I think I just wanted to point out that I will say that it was very sad. I mean, I know it was several years ago, except I know those two, Dragon Age Origins and Mass Effect. I know as a game developer, I really shouldn't like badmouth other people, other projects, and I try not to unless those people suck. No, not the people, but their project. If they're, I mean, good people could produce sucky projects. So it's just, I mean, I have this attitude, Harlan Ellison, at a certain point, J. Michael Straczynski got the best advice he ever could. J. Michael Straczynski, by the way, is a writer and creator of Babylon 5. He's done a lot of stuff through the years, a lot of great stuff, innovative stuff as well. But he got the best writing advice ever in his career from Harlan Ellison. And Harlan Ellison, brother from another mother. There he was. He's another Anthony Bourdain to me. I mean, he was one of the finest writers that the United States ever produced. But he was also just this very just. I mean, look up any Harlan Ellison video on YouTube, and you will see what kind of person he is. But bless him, he had a reason for being the arrogant cuss that he was. Is that he was very good at what he did. But anyway, J. Michael Straczynski one night just called up Harlan Ellison. And yeah, I don't know how he got his number, maybe through his agent or anything. But Straczynski asked Harlan Ellison, Mr. Ellison, I really, and actually when Straczynski tells the story, he has a stutter in there as well, so I'm only telling it as he would. But he's Mr. Ellison, I really admire your work, but I'm having a problem in that I just can't seem to sell my work. It's not going anywhere, and I'm concerned about my career. And Harlan said, "Well, that's because you're writing crap. Stop writing crap." And that was the best advice that Straczynski ever got. And that is the best. That's why I feel that toward projects, I mean, especially projects like Dragon Age Origins and Mass Effect, that have literally, number one, made billions of dollars, millions, if not hundred, no, literally hundreds of millions of dollars, if not billions of dollars now. These and been lauded for their fantastic quote unquote storytelling. I think I'm absolutely justified in going, that's crap. I mean, come on. I mean, yeah, it doesn't matter whether people love it, and it doesn't matter how many. I mean, units they sold. Dragon Age Origins and Mass Effect. Every last one of those games, take it to the bank. Same stories, same situations, same characters, same story arc, same conclusions, same beginnings, each one of them. Slight variations, but basically the exact same thing. And I'm sorry, but I can't look at that and like most of the gaming press and most gamers and just go, "Oh, best writing ever! Best! Oh my gosh, they blew my mind off with Dragon Age 2, but Dragon Age 3, oh." When I did that same thing that I did in the previous two, because, oh my gosh, when I did that, I was like, there's a thing that I remember. Oh, please. Oh, yeah, I just can't, I just can't call that good writing. No, that's lazy writing. And anyway, and so that I just had to get that off my chest there, because don't do the same game over and over and constantly expect it to be anyway. Let's see. I've already looked for cabinet. Hey, sometimes people, especially out on the islands, sometimes have old chests of wooden chests and such as furniture, and that would actually be perfect. As except they all have the curved lids. Let's see what we have as far as chests go. Look, we have lock mechanisms that we're never going to use because there are no keys. Cats can, I mean, there are ways cats can get into houses, but we're never using a key. Let's see. Chest. I don't know there. But it looks like, geez, for some reason, I seem to not have a good sort of bedside table. I'm just going to look for bedside as a prefab. And if not, bedside table. There we go. And if it's the same one, we can make this work. What the hell? I don't like it, but we can make it work. Actually, I like it better than that now already because it's got that sort of like the wood is consistent with the bed. And by the way, this is another thing where it's like, I have to say, listen, I have to apologize for my, like, again, bad decisions in hiring because, at a certain point, like I said, we had Mike Shiranovsky working for us. And he was supposed to be so good at level design because he worked on that game Thief. And he was responsible for, to be fair, what is considered, some of the best level design in the industry. But, and so at a certain point, Arjuna, this guy who worked with us, Peter Bourgeois was his real name, by the way. And he was like, I would really like to work with Mike on, because I was such a fan of his work on Thief, et cetera, et cetera. I leave them alone for for about 4 weeks, I think. And honest to God, I come back and what they give me looks like Pee-wee's Playhouse. In fact, that looks like Pee-wee's Playhouse right there. That looks grotesque. Anyway, but the problem is everything was out of scale with each other. I mean, literally, and the living room was so wide when you brought things into scale, it looked like a tennis court. And I had to go in and redo everything, and they were, oh God. And when I had to point out because they were obviously just so proud of what they had produced, I mean that was one of those cases where Arjuna did his classic, just scream until Eric lets me scream over Eric. Because I was just great work, guys, great work. But I can't help but notice that all these things are so out of whack with each other. They just don't seem to look like they should even be there. What's the and that's when Arjuna. And I said, yes, Arjuna, I'm very sorry for talking over you there. What you said you had something to say, and he would go, oh, what does scale matter? And so I said, okay, let's move on. And then I just redid the entire interior by myself. Like I had to redo 99% of his work. Again, you can't trust when you're developing. No one is going to give a crap about your project as much as you do. And it's a sad fact. It doesn't matter how much you pay them. Doesn't matter how much you respect them. No matter how much, free time. it just doesn't matter. They are there to rip you off, and it sucks to say that, but let me tell you, it's the God honest truth. Here's the thing: is it looks like they removed a cabinet from in here, so maybe we should just actually move the bed over to the right and put the cabinet right by the bed. I think that's the best solution here because this is just sort of crazy. What's going on? It's just me redoing all the work. This is one of the few rooms where I really haven't, done detailed work. So it's another chance for me to just, fix things. Oh yeah, and by the way, if Mike Chernovsky and Arshun are watching, yes, I'm willing to admit that I made mistakes, guys. Oh my goodness, hiring Mike Chernovsky was definitely one of the biggest ones. Um, but yeah, yeah, there are some things I cannot take responsibility for because, honest to God, guys, you hand me something that literally looks like, I mean, it's almost looked like an American McGee level, like an Alice, the first American McGee Alice video game, because the textures were so low and everything was stretched and huge out of proportion with each other. It almost looked like, gotta move those microwave ovens. It just was shocking. And oh gosh. It is what it is. Let's just see if I can find a low cabinet to put right there by that's I think that's good enough really. Yeah. Only thing is I kind of like this wood texture. Will that wood texture carry over? Let's just go see. I don't think so. Oh, oh yes it does. That's great. So we could just add this and it'll look more or less okay, I guess. Oops. We'll hop in here. Let's just see here. There we are. By the way, that's one of the few times you'll ever hear me try and do that sort of Huey and the Lewis News. Huey and Lewis in the News sort of singing. Oh my gosh. Gotta move them microwave. Custom kitchen delivery. Yeah, that was one of those. Man, back when I worked at Anna Diaz and having to listen to, Rewind 100, your favorite hits from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. And I was like, oh no, it was 70s, 80s, and 90s. I was like, how come you never play any? I mean, you play one Pet Shop Boys song, but you don't play any other techno or, I mean, come on, play some Nine Inch Nails, guys. That was in the 90s. And, and that's what I'd hear. And in fact, I knew their playlist so well. And yeah, here's the I am not a hater of the Pet Shop Boys. I mean, for what they were techno innovators in sort of a way. They popularized a certain, I mean, a lot of stuff that we take for granted in industrial, techno and techno industrial, but not industrial music, because industrial music is such a different genre. It's just sort of crazy when people get that confused. And there should be another one on the other side, because heck, symmetry is nice. Okay, great. And put the light back into its position. I'm glad that we're finally getting this interior. And now what we need to do, by the way, is we need to bring one of the books over. And we were going to be doing a rewrite of certain books. And I wanted one of the books on the bookshelf over, book side, on Nicholas's books side. Do we have a wall-mounted light? That would be so much better. I mean, that just takes up space and is annoying. Let's just see. Because really, doesn't this room have a light in the Yeah, why was there a light there in the first place? My God. Because Arjuna put it there, and I was like, yeah, maybe he would. I know the character, but also understand Nicholas, this character that, is basically, one of the first humans that you encounter the artifacts of in the game. He's I would say that he's my stand-in character. He's modeled after me in any way. Never one because he's a hell of a lot more handsome, as you can see. But I do kind of like give him the same sort of ADHD and ideas and decoration. And that was another thing that was about the interior that these guys created for the game, or claimed they created for the game, is they put things in there that didn't need to be there. At the very beginning, I was like, okay, you have to understand this is Nicholas's house. He's this, that, and the other. And it's like, Eric, I understand. And so in the end, I just said, okay, I'm very sorry, Arjuna. You can go ahead. Yes, do whatever you think is right. And what we're going to do is we're going to put one thing on both sides. I'm very sorry for interrupting you. Please proceed. And but I don't know. I just think there are some things that have to be done. I mean, really, he he put it. These guys, they put a guitar in the corner. This character, this human, would never have played guitar. He would have owned a didgeridoo and never learned to play it. It would have been in the corner, over probably in the corner of his bedroom, like buried under a pile of laundry. That's the kind of guy this person is. And if they had just talked to me, but they didn't, and so they made, an interior that did not reflect, the personality of the person who lived there at all. And that's one of the things that we really wanted in the game is you're supposed to know about the people who lived in these spaces because of all the stuff that you discover, in their houses. Like, the sheriff, you'll learn about what kind of guy he is, what his hobbies are, what is, et cetera, by what is in his house. Um, and I wanted, and again, it's finally good to be, working on that. And by the way, handy tip for Unity users, if you did not know. Oh goodness, I just totally screwed this up. Uh, all right, great, that's good. I moved the thing rather than the parent object, the cat. But handy a tip for anybody who works in Unity. If you want something to lie directly on top of like a terrain or a surface, Shift Control Move. And it looks like maybe the collider on that is a little bit whack, but it more or less moves it to where it needs to be. Oops. There we go. And yeah, maybe we can come up with a couple of pages of Cat Aficionado magazine inside. Why not? It would be good to. I mean, that's what we want. We want rich lore and lots of stuff for people to discover. And yeah, the magazine's up top. Let's see. There would be some sort of readable object on the ground, but I think the magazine would be up there. There used to be a cabinet in the closet over here, but I think I removed that. By the way, is there a pole in the closet? There should be a pole to hang things. No pole. Oh my God, such a break in realism. That's unforgivable. That's a shunda. God, how did that bypass stuff? In fact, the closet is way too narrow for this. It should be just moved out just a little. In fact, right up to the edge of that second table there. Yeah. Oh boy. And why did I put up? I mean, and people, invariably, are always asking me, why did you put up with people screaming at you? It's because, well, I was under the impression that I had been gaslighted at that point by, by people. Well, no, I'll tell you straight up. I know I never wanted to be a good man. I would never make a good manager. Back when I worked at the deli, I was offered the manager position so many times, but I said no so many times because I don't want to be, oh God, just for so many reasons. And so when it got to this, thing, I was like, okay, if I know I'm a bad manager, straight up, I'm just not good with people. So I'm going to always assume that I am in the wrong in these situations. So if this guy's screaming at me, I'm figuring he has a good reason to, and I am in the wrong. So I always apologize, and I go, okay, please, thank you so much for your input there. Please tell me where I got this wrong. And I think after that, I mean, I put Arjuna in charge of the colliders, and that was another job that I had to completely redo myself. Because I think basically after we got rid of Mike Shiranovsky, I think again Arjuna was like straight up. He's a big fan of Mike Shiranovsky's work, whatever that might have been, and after we got rid of Mike Shiranovsky, Arjuna was like, "Yep, Eric's crazy. I'm not going to do. I mean, I'm just out of spite. I'm going to show up and just scream during meetings." And anyway, running a business sucks. Because I mean, I straight up told the guy who ran it, Ed, you put me in charge of running Ananias, and you're going to come in the morning, and there's going to be a tribe of like Kurds occupying the restaurant. And he said, "Kurds? Well, why Kurds?" And et cetera, et cetera. I say, "Well, listen, that's how bad I am. Literally, if you put me in charge of this place, a migrating tribe of Kurdish people would somehow appear in Portland, specifically at your restaurant, Ed. That's what's going to happen if you put me in charge of Ananias." Okay. And yeah, as far as the light, I don't think if he would have anything, he would just have an overhead light over his bed right there. I'm going to put the book over there, so because that's the next thing I want to add. Because I think we should have between 5 and 6 pieces of interactive stuff in every room. And do you know how many people? Yes, a lot. Again, I love doing these things. I mean, heck, today, jeez, let's just go through all the ones I did. In fact, these are kind of squished. They had to be made into the square, you know. All these documents, these just, I love putting all these little things together. Because after months and months and months and months and months and months and months working in Unity, it's kind of neat to work in Photoshop and Illustrator and all those programs that I used to work in back in the day. So really, we have in this room we have 1, 2 pieces of stuff. We need 3 more. Let's see here. Yeah, we're gonna put a book in the bathroom. Jeez, interactable stuff. Oh God, this is another thing I needed to do. We removed this system here. This was something that was very early put into the game called the PIPO system, the Peace Island Power Output System. But that just turned out to be a mechanic that just really didn't work properly, in terms of how the kind of game we wanted to make. So, meh. We just, moved on with something else. And I just want to, number one, move this down and scale this one thing too. So, unfortunately, because of that, I have a shorter attention, being screamed at and being, gaslighted all those times. I do have shorter attention, shorter, temper with BS. But anyway, what we're going to do here is we have done so much change to this. We got to apply all these. Oh, no, it was automatically done. That's sweet. What I want to do now is I want to go and I want to grab a book from the library and we're going to bring it over. Library FL1, I think it was. FL1. Open it. Give it a second to think. Oh. Oh, people have been chatting over here, James. Hello, James. Oh, Jaboomer Roberts. Hello. Boring bug hunt sounds like the perfect. Okay, plugging away on my job. Hey. Hello. Oh, well, the cat. Oh, sorry. Boom. To people who ask questions, James. Will the cats sleep in the game, and are there any safe sleeping places? Strange, you should ask that. Yes, absolutely. In fact, that's a mechanic. I think I mentioned it recently. Oh, I'm just number one finding the book. What kind of book would Nicholas be reading here? The Cats on Elm Street. Hmm. Let's see here. I'm just looking at the titles. Actually, Bill Clare, Mushroom Slayer. That would be definitely on Nicholas's reading list, I think. So let's go back into our scene here. And yeah, about sleeping and in beds. Yes, we have set up this thing where there are designated cat beds. If you leave your cat alone, they will, after a few seconds, go into, a snoozing mode. But if you leave them outside, or just like anywhere, they'll only recover energy very, very, or, comfort very, very slowly. However, if you put them into bed into one of the designated cat beds, which are around the island, their beds they'll recover their comfort faster. And if you there are going to be a number of special toys found around on the island, and if you put one of those toys on a bed up to three, they will. If you put a toy on a bed, they will it will provide more comfort, and that goes up to three toys. So you're able to basically, you boost your resting places with toys. We want similar mechanics with other things, um, you know. But yeah, yeah. To answer your question, yes, you will have places to snooze your cat. And what is the utility of having toys that boost bed, comfort? That will basically make it advantageous for the player to choose a home base where they put the most toys into a given bed, and it provides the best rest. So it's just, a game design thing. So let's see here. Okay, where's the book? Sorry, I just put the book in here for some reason. I dis selected it. Hold on. Oh, there it is. The Claire. Bill Clare, Mushroom Slayer. Yeah, and people who contributed to the project get to have their names mentioned as books and books that you can read throughout the novel, and each we're trying to make the books pertinent. Each one of the books pertinent to various things within the game, and it's not necessary that players read every book, but we make it so that if you do, it'd be cool. It's sort of like Elder Scrolls. You don't have to read every book, or every scroll you come across, but you never know if you're going to run across that one book that may boost one of your stats, or may give you some information, about a quest that otherwise you had never heard about. I love stuff like that. Rewarding curiosity, and ooh, something about that collider. Maybe this doesn't have a proper collider. Let me just see here. Mesh collider. Yeah, it has a mesh collider. Oh, it's not convex. Oh, actually, no. Let's open it, turn it into convex, and then go back into our scene, because that way. And yesterday, I spent a few hours fixing the market. As people might know, you can go into, I mean, in recent versions, you can go into the market and try and push things over. I spent a day really fixing it and making it work a lot better, but we still need better sound effects. We need to work on, physics for the objects, because basically every grocery object, from a sack of flour all the way to like a can of Coca-Cola for drop from a high shelf, behaves the same way. And we need to add, various elements to it. So, okay, so we have three things here right now that could be interacted with. Now, let me just check over here in the living room, because I know we have enough over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 5. We just need 3 more things over here. Between here and the bathroom. Jeez, what would be... Actually, Nick would have a book on the back of the toilet. Nicholas would so have a book on the back of the toilet, or a magazine. So yeah, that's definitely going in there. Yeah, we're gonna take this magazine from the over here. it has some problem with the cover, but we're gonna use that. We're gonna move yeah, this magazine over to the back of the turlet. The turlet. Come on. What the hell is it? It's like where's its gizmo? Holy crap. All right, its gizmo is all the way over there. The object is on the table, but the gizmos, that's because, let me see. There's just something wrong. Screw it. I'm going to work with it as best as I can. We'll fix that later. Okay, at number 1, I'm going to place it on the same height as the top of the toilet. What the hell? Holy crap, look at this. Oh, I see what the problem is. I see what the problem is. You'll have to forgive me. It's the way that these are put together. So magazine, that's what we want to move over to the bathroom. And at that point, we'll have 4 items. We just need one more to make this area a little bit more interesting. And why is the toilet so far from the wall? That's bizarre. That should not be the case. Odd. These are these last minute things, you know. It's just like, why is the toilet a half, like literally 18 inches from the wall? Hopefully the toilet paper roll there is mounted. Nope, it's another 3 inches from the wall. God, why was that done? Weird. Stuff that I missed. In fact, what we're going to do is, instead of putting on the toilet, because that is, well, no, that's again something he would have done. I'm going to put it on the counter over here. There we are. And we'll fix the cover later. So really, we just need to figure out one last, interactive item that we can have in that room. Oh. Oh, no. Gotta think. Uh, any other documents that he would have? Anything else? Oh, another thing he would have done? He would have dropped his bank card. He would have totally just dropped his bank card and walked away with forgetting it. Um, hmm. Oh, it's dinner time. No, it's not. It's 6:48. I'm sorry. Dinner time for cats. Um, sometimes 6 looks like 8 when it's blaring out of my monitor. I'll have to think about that later. But really, I need to figure that out. You would have something in there, but a bank card is sort of pointless because there are no bank machines in the game. It's sort of like a Chekhov's gun thing. Don't include something if it is not pertinent to anywhere else in the game, or reverse Chekhov's gun. Just trying to think, what else would he have in there that would be pertinent to this game? And I just noticed something, this wall. Oops, wrong one. There we go. That, the interior of the closet should have that. Actually, no. We'll just keep it white, because it is what it is. Slipshod, interior design. Sometimes main houses are just random like that. So let's see here. Again, what would he have in his room? What would a young man have in his bedroom by his bedside that he would want to come up and maybe peruse before going to bed? I'll leave you with that. I'll be right back. Of course, we're not going to include anything of that nature, because for all intents and purposes, this character is like is asexual. And also, we should. I mean, come on, that doesn't play anything into the whole thing. Um, I mean, for example, there are two gay characters in the game, and we're going to great pains to make sure that you wouldn't know that this is a gay person's house. It's just a normal person's house, because of course, gay people are normal people. They wouldn't have weird, crazy houses. So anyway, just saying, and I'll be right back because I gotta think. I think I'm going to take a quick visit to the restroom, and when I return, we're going to talk about people who unfortunately passed away today. Because let me tell you, one person I was so happy, and the other person I was so sad. But we'll talk about that when I return. I'll be right back. So. Okay, so number one, and I'm just going to put on a playlist that should be appropriate, really. Let me see YouTube. Let's see. Let's see if we have a good, let's see, mix of Pogues. Well, I'll just start putting on the Pogues because if you're not aware, well, first we'll talk about the person that I really, 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 really didn't like that passed away. But his name was a guy by the name of Henry Kissinger. He was an American diplomat and statesman, as they like to call him, I guess. And from what I understand, I mean, for what it's worth, a Holocaust survivor. I think he lost 15 members of his family to the Holocaust, and that of course is something no one should be cheering or thinking to be whatever. But and etc. If you don't know the history of Henry Kissinger, look into it. He was one of the most evil and destructive men that this country has ever employed. He was it is at his soul a disgusting caricature of a human being, and the fact that he lived to be 100, well, Pogues, well, the lead singer of the Pogues, who passed away today, um, um, The lead singer of the Pogues, Shane MacGowan, passed away today, or he passed away last night. And I'm just gonna have this playing in the background. Hopefully, it'll nice and low. But that was it was a shock to see that, and it was a shame that again that we live in a world where a scumbag like Henry Kissinger can live to be 100, living his entire life in wealth and accolades and getting away with literal crimes against humanity and doing really evil things. He just lived to be 100. And Shane MacGowan, on the other hand, he dies at the age of 65. But anybody who knows, anybody who's like, first became, I knew the music of the Pogues, but I was unaware of exactly what kind of guy Shane MacGowan was until I saw a documentary about him. Just like one day, I have never seen somebody just so absolutely willingly debilitated by alcohol and whatever else. He when he was in his 30s, he moved and acted like an old man because of just the way he was treating himself. And quite frankly, they can't all be Keith Richard and live forever. You know what I'm saying? But geez, again, it's a shame that again he passed away, whereas Henry Kissinger, this literal war criminal, died peacefully at the age of 100. So here's to you, Shane. I'll be right back. Sorry. And actually, I'm going to say I'm going to skip this because I don't like Christmas songs, even though that's like his number one hit. It's just not me. There we go. Dirty Old Town. That's where you start off with. But anyway, yeah, those were two passings that usually, hey, I consider, death. It is part of life. We will all meet it eventually, and heck, I've always said that. What the heck? On my funeral, and people are like, "Geez, what people said like that about you?" Anyway, it is what it is, and heck, it's fantastic if we could avoid it, but we can't. And I've always said that number one, when the inevitable does come, and it will. Oh, it's different things. Sorry. Client boxes. There we go. There is a place you could donate your body where it's basically for a forensics lab. And they are studying at this lab how bodies decompose when exposed to various natural conditions. And you can request your body to be laid, underneath a tree or in the desert, et cetera, and be reclaimed by nature. And number one, I like the idea of my body again being cleanly regained by nature, and the fact that somebody, hopefully, it'll save a life or they'll learn something as far as like saving lives in the future. That's a great way to go. So, but it's something we're all going to have to go through, and but when I learned Henry Kissinger passed away, I was like, yes, justice. Well, she's no justice denied, quite frankly. But and when I woke up this morning, I was like, ah, oh, dang, Shane's dead. And the thing is, geez, the thing about Shane MacGowan, he was just one. Despite his drunkenness, he was just one of these people that was. If he was he was like Rick Mayall. If he would have been, if he was a physicist, he would have been an Einstein. If he was made to do the thing that he did, he was just absolutely brilliant. If you see this documentary about him, when he's just literally half just drunk, he will just break out in song and just make up songs on the fly that just have just such eloquence and spirit to them. He was just such a great craftsman. Anyway, and he got to spend most of his life doing what he wanted to do, and also, from what I understand, he spent the last few years of his life sober. and that's very good. Considering, I mean, again, the first time I ever really saw him was in that documentary, and I was just like, I mean, for days afterwards, I mean, I was like, goodness gracious, how does somebody live like that? Oh my goodness! But heavens, he did it his way, and so anyway, let's see, is this a seam? Is that a gap? Just want to make sure. I don't like little things like this. Okay. All right, that looks good, yeah. And I don't like this floor. It is just too busy. Whenever I went in here, it was just like, oh my God, it's just like a blast in the face. What I'm thinking is, see if we could do something here. We could change the tiling. Let's see, 0.5, 0.5, 0.5. I don't know if that's any better. Really, tiles should be much broader than that. It's just odd. Yeah, I kind of like that, but what I also would like to do here, see if we can bring it down so it's not, I mean, it is blaring, this texture. Hold on, I'm just going to see. It might be time for me to finally just fix things, you know, because it seems to be up to me so many times. Let's see here, tiles, what do we got here? No, those are too worn. So let's go back to tile. I know I have better tiles, or tiles material, actually. I know I have better tiles than this. Over the years, I've accumulated a lot of tiles, and they're all coming across as black. Let's just take a look at them, but I do not floor tiles. If that wasn't pink, that would actually do pretty well. Let's just take a look at these guys. Too obnoxious again. There we go. That's what we want. Something very just, you know, generic. Just gotta make sure if I, again, oh. What the heck is that? Let me just see here. 2. No, it's just whack. Metallic alpha? Geez, some's really... Oh, it's because it's smoothness, I believe. That's just very odd. I'm just noticing a lot of stuff here that should have been taken care of. Like this welcome mat here is like far too small. What the heck happened? And hopefully Unity just didn't lock up. Don't tell me you just locked up there. No, you didn't. Okay. So, let's see here. Something's going on here. I'm getting no response from mouse movement. Just checking this out here. Let's just see here. Yeah, for some reason, I cannot move my point of view. And when stuff like this happens, I think it's time to just basically restart Unity, which, as we all know, takes a few minutes. Because, yeah, I can't even select the selection tool here, so I'm kind of whack here. Let's go here. Yeah. Even when I got the tool selected, it's... I can't select anything. So, Unity seems to be acting a little bit screwy. But we can close, and we can save, and we can come back to this in just a couple of minutes. But I don't like that tile. I don't. I never liked it. In fact, let's take a look, because I know... And by the way, I'm going to go to the Unity Asset Store right now, because you're going to be wondering, oh, lol, Eric, he goes to the Unity Asset Store, he buys assets. No, yeah, I do. Everything cannot be made by hand when you're making a video game. You just can't. Some people can't have. But those are very simple games, not an open world adventure game. And again, I always justify myself by saying, what would you rather me do? spend a few hours making my own tiles when already for about $5 I can buy, 100 tile textures that are 100% ready to go and, high quality. So I'm just going to see over here what tiles I have here. And also, this music is just becoming too Irish for me. Bless you, son. But that's the thing. Pogues are okay for me in small doses, and we're going to go away from that. Good for you in your great career there. There. So I'm just going to put on that because that's a little bit more up my alley. Here we go. So I'm going to go to my assets, and I know I have tiles. Yeah. ATL tile textures, tile wall, sidewall constructor. Yeah, excellent. Let's just see here. Because I know. Yeah, look at this. I've got excellent tiles that are great to go. So let's just bring these in. Oh, it's going to open up the wrong project, though. Ah, well, ATL. I think those may have been lost somewhere along the way because, again, the project just got screwed several times along the way. Well, no, just once. Just once, epically. Anyway, has anybody asked? I haven't had the question window open. Oh well, has anybody said a bedside lamp or an alarm clock would be? Oh, a bedside clock. I had one of those, and for some reason it's gone now. We can thank you for the reminder. We had the bedside clock, and now we have this. We have to wait for the project to open again. And here's what I'm going to do there, because you were so good as to remind me. We're going to add that as an official thing to do. Add alarm clock a bedside. That is not an interactable object because, it's just whatever. But that would still be good to have in there because that would be something Nicholas would need. And by the way, there are 38 other people on the island. And Susan Cote Devatus, we have Willie Dufresne, we have Brian Connors, we have the teachers. Oh, God, I'd have to go back to our wiki because I really want to spend before we bring in a writer to really start assisting us, I need to spend about a week with our wiki. But I don't feel comfortable in doing that until we get our beta done because there's only so much story that we want to put into that initial beta. So I'm just wondering, but really, for a writer to work with us, I think we do need a more complete wiki. Because the last time that I went through our project wiki, which I'm not going to show off, by the way, because, and here's why. Every time that I've accidentally shown spoilers on screen for about just half a second. And even though I could edit it out, I just really... YouTube, it takes forever to edit videos. It just does. So... boring bug hunt. Yeah, okay. Any other questions, comments, suggestions? The only lessons. Actually, one of the things that we could also do, and this is another thing, can I say another place for indie game developers is Turbo Squid. Because there is this one last sort of not major, sort of middle-sized location I need to set up right by Battery Hamlin, and we need lumber. And again, this is another situation where it's like, oh, lumber, that's just a bunch of boxes, right? Well, I'd like lumber with nice textures and everything, and why not spend a few bucks getting something, and we've got that lined up here, the lumber. And in fact, we're gonna just go over here and complete my purchase in another window because I do not want other people to see my payout information. Thank you very much. Yeah, let's just go over here. By the way, I really don't like doing advertisements, but man, I got that Honey plugin for Chrome, and man, I've saved hundreds of dollars on assets in the asset store, on Turbo Squid stuff. Turbo Squid, by the way, is a great place to go for 3D models. Professionally made or there are millions on there that are free. I think I have a model up there of an MP3 player for sale that I put up in 2006. I don't know, I forget. 2007. That sounds like a bizarre enough year. Let's see here. But yeah, okay, we purchased that, so we're going to select our file for download. We're going to get the zip. And we're going to get the FBX, and we are good. And we're still waiting for that to load, but at least that killed a few seconds while we're waiting for these things to open. And by the way, let's just see here. Oh, it is opening that. Okay. Hold on. Okay. This is a case where I think I need to just intervene as an adult and tell Unity altogether. Just no. Okay, just stop everything because we need to start over from beginning. Your whole thing that you have going on there, Unity. It's kind of weird because I mean, to a certain extent, I mean, every software has its quirks and you have to get used to it. But there are some OSs and some things that you have to just get used to it. Oh, yeah, it crashed. Does that sometimes. uh, by the way, Paul Rubens, RIP, as well. Ooh. So, let's see here. Oh, hello. We have a third viewer. Oh, I don't know if you have such an asset, but a record player. Oh goodness, dude. Jan van der Zijden. Hopefully, I pronounced that. Jan van der Zijden. Are you in the Netherlands or Belgium or Luxembourg? Just out of curiosity. Anyway, to answer your question, if you played any of the betas or alphas before that, you know there is a radio station on the island that plays a radio broadcast. And when you go into the radio station, there are lots of records. And in fact, a lot of people who, like I said, who have contributed to the game at a certain level, they get their name mentioned inside of the game. I think about 20 people have asked for their pictures to be placed, or to have a poster or an album cover on the wall in the radio station, because these days, I mean, records. Yeah, a lot of people have their vinyl collections, but a heck of a lot of times. I mean, I went to when I first moved here to Portland. There's this record store up the road called Weird Main, and they had this bin out front, records for $1, and I just chose the ones that I thought had really good, covers. And I just put them up, and two for $1, two for $1 records. And I just got them to put up on the wall, and that's what a heck of a lot of things are. I mean, people do with records these days because they're more of a piece of old nostalgic art. And yeah, in the radio station there are going to be many record covers. In fact, geez, do I have? I could have sworn I need to, because I did a few of them. Let's just see. Where was it? Peace Island? Is it? I'm just gonna have to find, because it's. Let's see. Desktop. Is it Pix? Just see here. Yeah, I mean, this is an image that was created for one of the record albums. He sent in a picture, and that was that. He's gonna have a poster up on the wall, but I don't see the actual posters in here. Let me just see here. It sucks because I know I have them somewhere. Let me just see. Peace Island 2D art. No, Peace Island. Here we go. This is where probably a hell of a lot of them are. Oh yeah. Oh my goodness. This is where so many portraits of people who lived on. Like I said, we know what everybody who lived on the island looks like. And in fact, there is this guy on there, Alexander Ellison. We have pictures of, oh gosh, all the way through history. In fact, this is, let's see. It's kind of weird. I mean, like I said, we know the family history of everybody in the game, and like I said, everybody's connected. This is the grandmother, actually the great grandmother of this woman here. She is a pilot and served in the Gulf War, and this is a woman that was part of a community of freed slaves, and I forget which state. I think Maryland. And they had their own militia and such. Like I said, there's a heck of a lot of depth to this thing. A lot of work that we put into it. So, let me see. I was going to grab that tile set so I could get better tiles. Boy, this is going to be great. We're going to make the floors look so good. That's what counts for excitement in video game development land. I better be able to select things and, zoom in on them, because that's why we had to quit before. There may be something wrong here. Why is everything locked? Did I lock something? No, I don't see anything locked. It's got to take its sweet time doing this, by the way. And, let's see. Oh, yeah. Well, pardon me if I'm pronouncing Hyun. That's probably how it's pronounced. Not Hyun. Hyun. It's probably Hyun, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. But Hyun. My name is Eric, by the way, as you may know. And I don't mean to say, I'm sorry if I sounded like I was making fun of your name. I didn't mean to. I just really like foreign names. Not to go off on a tangent, but I do that a lot. I mean, I literally watch African biographic things just so I can learn African inflections. I'm just fascinated with, how things are pronounced all around the world. So please don't take me constantly saying your name is a slight. But Jan, I think you came in a little bit late. But what's the problem here? Oh no, I can't. I moved the camera there. Like I said at the very beginning of this live cast, we've been sending our minimum viable product to a publisher, a game publisher, and we wanted. Well, here's the thing: is this was the first publisher that we had ever sent the game to, and here's the thing: is that they rightly pointed out. And by the way, now that we have this open, let's open up our package manager so we can get this the tile set in that I was going to bring in from the very beginning. There we go. Let's go back over here. But and trust me, this has to do with your what you said, Jan. Let's see. Oh, but yeah. Yep, there we go. Oh goodness, yeah, we don't even have it in the project anymore. It's oh goodness, the floors are gonna look so awesome. I was wondering why this thing, because somewhere along the way we had to like purge so much stuff out of the project, and the project is kind of big, but. Jeez, I completely forgot the question again. I'm going to look over there. Oh yeah, one of the things the publisher said, and was absolutely true, is that for a game that's supposed to be about exploration and adventuring, yeah, there's a lot of walking around and a lot of stuff that you can see, but there isn't much you can do, and not much that you can learn. And here's the thing: is we were expecting that response straight up. We were expecting that because. We were acutely aware of that. All the previous alphas, and to be truthful, no, the betas have had some story-related content in them, a little teensy bit, but we have not had time to add story-related content because as I've said, unfortunately, and it's an unfortunate story, as you see in the lower right-hand corner, I'm waiting for this loading bar to finish, and that's why I'm talking rather than doing anything, by the way. We unfortunately brought some people on who just really screwed, just wasted time, etc., etc. And boy, I lost my train of thought there. Anyway, I think somewhere along the way, that stuff got purged, and it's good that we're bringing it back because I mean those were good textures. I bought them for a damned reason. Oh, and I never changed the size. Actually, while that's loading, we actually can do work. Because like I said, I really didn't like the size of this little rug here. Oh, it's still thinking. Hold on. Is our quality setting set at like really high still? Hold on. By the way, I visited the Netherlands back in 2001, in the summer of 2001. I visited Amsterdam, and I tried to go to what's his name? God, Hieronymus Bosch's hometown. But being a stupid American, I couldn't figure out. I unfortunately, well, I mean, for good or ill, I live in a country that's ruled by the automobile. And so, I'm not used to trains that run well and on time. Amtrak is pretty dang good, but it's nowhere near up to European standards. But so I really didn't get around much during my time in the Netherlands. I didn't know anybody there, and really I was there to do all the museums and such. And just like about every other tourist, American tourist at that time, yeah, I went to the Netherlands because the marijuana. I mean, back then, that was considered to be the mecca of every stoner in America. And well, I'm not like a stoner. I mean, I just need to just make this public. I mean, I have partaken, and I don't think it's a bad thing to partake of marijuana. But back in the day, I remember everything in moderation. I remember how way it was back then. And it was like, oh yeah, going to Amsterdam, man. Oh yeah, you just had to go, just be of a certain age and go, I'm going to Amsterdam, and it would just be like the signal was sent. Oh yeah, I know what you're up to, man. And what's crazy is since then, I believe Amsterdam has really clamped down. I don't think do they even have legal weed in Amsterdam anymore? Whereas now, the city that I live here, Portland, we have more marijuana stores cancel. I meant to hit import rather than re-download. We have more marijuana stores per like square mile than Amsterdam did back in the day. I'd be willing to bet. I mean, we don't have the cafes. We have one or two, but we don't have. We have. I mean, literally, it's kind of shocking how many marijuana stores are in Portland. Because I remember being in Amsterdam back during. And here's the thing, and this is a joke. And by the way, we're waiting for something to import over here. You know how you could find you knew which tourists were Americans in Amsterdam. Let me see if I could go all the way back so you can see me. The American tourists were the fat people sitting outside of a marijuana a coffee shop with like this, with a pool of vomit between their feet. That and because they would just come in and they would be, oh man, it's legal, and they make themselves sick. They take tons of edibles, they just smoke themselves, and they into dizziness, and they'd be out again, just be out front. I saw that so many times, and each time they had like a frat, Kansas State, some American university T-shirt on. So that was the American Gopnik. If you don't, yeah, that's the American. That was the American Amsterdam Gopnik pose. uh, anyway, oh, it's still legal and sold everywhere, cracking down on public use, private businesses, and freedom. Yeah, when I visited Amsterdam back in the day, they still, what it was is that, I mean, it was. I really like how Amsterdam just deals with laws, so, except. No offense, but you could have done better in the last election there. But hey, I'm not one to judge because we elected Trump. Hey, everybody's allowed. What are those called? Anyway, boy, I was kind of shocked. But here's it. Can I just say, and I hate to bring this into politics here in country, but here's I so rarely have a chance to talk to somebody from there, and I remember back in 2002, Pim Fortuyn, I don't even remember him, but he was the far right leader. And I remember before he was assassinated, they were saying he was going to be the next Dutch prime minister. He was really popular. So, and I remember after that, you got the prime minister that sort of looked like the Harry Potter. And I don't know. Since then, but it's sort of like, it seemed to be there. You guys have the same sort of tendency over there that we have of, hey, let's try. Hold on. Yeah, just for these files. There's this comedian, and he was like, let's see. He came up with the sales slogan. The slogan for fascism, and it was fascism. Let's see what happens, because that's the way it always seems to be. But hey, we'll see how it goes. Uh, and by the way, I don't mean to be a critic. Again, let's get off of politics. Yeah, boy, these are taking a while. But now ATL 178. I'm gonna have so many tiles. I won't know what to do with myself. My boy, and it's taking its sweet time too. Let me see. Another death that I discovered recently. Not to talk about death, but this is sort of related to music because I talked about Shane MacGowan earlier. I found out there was a neo folk band called Der Blutharsch. And if you're not familiar with the neo folk genre, it's a genre of music that has very troublesome. The first neo folk band that identified themselves as neo folk played for the first time at a Rock Against Racism concert. But unfortunately, neo folk has taken on connotations of straight out fascism, etc., etc. And I discovered that the guy, unfortunately, he was a talented musician, and he created some innovative stuff. The guy who was Der Blutharsch, he recently passed away as well. I think during the time of COVID, he probably did, but he died at about 55 years old. But from what I understand, at the end of in the previous few years, he had dropped acid a lot of times and discovered, oh, race is just a construct. Well, cock-a-doodle-doo guy. Anyway, and man, I should do psychedelic music and just do groove and such. And yeah, okay, yeah, they always have that come to Jesus moment before they die. But anyway, boy, these are taking a while to load, but I do not mind because the floors are going to look so damn good, guys. Oh yeah, Mark Rutte. I remember. Yes, that name. That I love international politics. I for some reason, and that's another reason why I watch those African things about African politics, is because especially African biographics. It's like, boy, it's like going back in time. So I mean, when you're talking about Mobutu Sese Seko, man, I'm hearing Cyndi Lauper in my mind, because it's just wow. Not to, okay, tile, but we have texture. We're gonna have to create our own normal for it, but that's fine. Tile, T. First on, let's just see if it did give us. Oh! Look at so many. Well, now hold on. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. That's not 178. I expected 178. And it looks like I have a bunch of colors. I think I still have to go into textures, but that isn't bad. Yeah, okay, texture. It's a texture, not a material that I'm going after. Yeah, but yeah, I remember. And what's kind of crazy about Aruta's election is that I'm sorry I didn't pronounce it. It's probably Aruta, but or something like that. But I'm an American and we mispronounce everything. Um, uh, is that from what I understand is because after the assassination of Pim Fortuyn, basically the left wing in the Netherlands, they just said, okay, because we don't like things like that happening in our country, we are going to like admit partial responsibility, and we're basically going to just sit this election out. We're not going to campaign very hard. But man, and again, I'm in no position to judge anybody. Okay, what the heck? I thought I just downloaded 178 textures. Let's take a look for this. At this. What the heck happened here? This is ATL. Let's take a look. Go up to the very top. Well, what do you know? Oh, there we go. Tile textures. There we go. Chessboard tiles, indoor tiles, traditional. There we go. Indoor. Ah, that's what I want to see. Give me bigger pictures. No. Like I said, I prefer the list, and we will just take a look at those. Just scroll right through there. Oh, it does have the materials. Look at that. Hey, what do you know? That is beautiful. How come they didn't show up earlier? Strange. Oh, these are very high density tiles, which is great, which means fewer objects you need to have in there. I wish I had a bigger image, though. It's kind of hard to see exactly what's going on. I want a good kitchen tile. I don't want something. I mean, that's okay, right there. And now, because that texture is so, let me just take. I mean, we can zoom in. You see, that's another reason why I didn't like those old textures. The you had to use so many tiles to create them, and really you should only have one tile for each room as long as it fits in a square area. It's just, yeah. Thankfully, this is another of those things. It's like, better late than never. We're finally getting rid of all these things. Yeah, open the prefab. Yeah, heck. We're actually, going to talk about human politics a bit in the game, but it's mostly going to be through a very, like, humorous lens. Even though, I mean, jeez, oh God, I should talk about anything other than politics, seriously. So, just rescue me. I'm just going to go, jeez, somebody suggest a topic that I could talk about. Movies that I hate. No. I talk about that nonstop. What do they take me for? What do they take me for? I'll buy movie. I'll go to the theaters where they stop making crap. That's my attitude toward Hollywood. Just stop making crap. I mean, I am not interested in Marvel movies, and what really pisses me off, and I'm sorry for using such language, is that for some reason studios now consider superhero movies to be like their quota of science fiction movies for the year. I don't like superhero movies. I just don't really give a crap because every superhero story is exactly the same, and I just cannot be bothered. And I mean, it's just so annoying. Why don't they make more science fiction movies? Well, Captain America, Marvel Universe. Oh God, that is the worst. That is late stage capitalism, the Marvel Universe at its worst. IMHO, because it's like, oh yeah, you have to watch all 40 something movies to get an idea. Because I heard that Taika Waititi had directed the Thor movie, and it was supposed to be funny. And I started watching. It's like, yeah, a little bit. He did a few funny things, but then all of a sudden, it like started going into stuff that happened in previous movies that I never saw. And of course, any fan of the MCU is going to go, "Oh, you have to see all the movies, man." No, because at this point, let's see. Okay, we're gonna just look this up. I just have to, by the way. How many MCU films have come out? 33 films. You figure that each one of those is anywhere between 90 minutes and 2 hours. Let's put it at about 2 hours. So I would literally have to lay aside 3 days of my life end to end to watch all those films and get those stupid inserts. Why can't they make a movie that stands on its own? Because no, it's a universe, and you have, and because just no, die, stop making crap. Anyway, I don't think I'm unreasonable. By the way, if people go, oh, Eric's going crazy. No, I am not unreasonable in the slightest. Just stop making the same damn thing over and over and over and expecting us. And they're wondering, oh, why do these people go to these Eastern European streaming sites and watch our films? Don't they appreciate the artistry? Oh, the last thing that the MCU or Hollywood has to do with art these days, it's the last three letters in fart. They have not, I mean, oh God, don't even get me started on when they do produce a film that's somehow unique, honest to goodness. The only difference between Everything Everywhere All at Once and a Michael Bay film is that they replaced the explosions with absolute nonsense, and I will debate that. I will die on that hill, just so you know. And I know, oh, best film of the year. Oh, come on. Number one, Oscars are bullshit, as anybody knows. And number two, come on, come on. Come at me, bro. Tell me why you think Everything Everywhere is such a great film. Tell me, please, please, please. It's like the people who say, I mean, honest to God, there's that director. He did The Lighthouse. And literally, that film is just two people in a narrow, wide field of view, vomiting, shouting, and fighting each other in black and white for 90 minutes. But people just absolutely love this film. And I've talked to them. Okay, tell me, what do you like about it? I don't know, man. I just like it. There's something about it. I think maybe the version that I saw, because it was not in the theater, didn't have the subliminal messages flashed at me that said vomit fun. I mean, seriously, that 5-second close up on the bedpan with a big turd in it. I mean, that's entertaining. That's good. That's what you expect me to spend my money on, to go see it and not go, oh, stop making crap. Anyway, I'm done. And if you liked The Lighthouse, by the way, I am not going to fault you in any way, because again, if everybody in the world liked the same thing, it would be an incredibly dull planet, and I don't want to live in a dull planet. So I'm just putting my opinion out there, because it seems everybody else loves these movies that to me just I just have to why are you doing this to us? What did we do to you, Hollywood? What did you do? No, what did we do what did we do to deserve this? Endless MCU films and endless just garbage. Anyway, Indoor 17. Let's just make sure that we have our normal. Yeah, I have a normal and a height map. That's good. Okay. Yeah, it's a little bit drab, but I think it's better than what we had before. And in fact, if I feel it's drab, here's what we're going to do. We're just going to take that into here. And we're going to get, because they're a little bit gray, what we can do is we can just change these to a slightly more homey, warm color. Happy little clouds. Oh, goodness. Let's see. Yeah, good color. And I need to go to my swatches. For some reason, I lost my tools in Photoshop, and it is so annoying. It's like, window, show me my tools, please. Maybe I should just go. No, workspace doesn't work. Okay, essentials. Okay. Let me just try this graphic and web. Gonna show. Ah, there you go. Good for you, Photoshop. Yeah, I'm thinking something along this kind of line. Something like 1970s, old-fashioned, sort of like, let's just see. Too tobacco-y, too strong. We need to bring that down just a bit. Saturation and lightness, perhaps. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, and I'm just gonna see if anybody else commented about anything, but really. Oh, okay. Movies. Oh, well, you know a lot about international stuff. I think they're quite far apart from that. Oh, well, thank you very much. The I was a weirdo growing up. I mean, I literally, my father, the biggest gift that he ever gave me, and I remember he gave me a shortwave radio when I was like about 15 or something, because I was so interested in international stuff. And man, I loved every night I'd listen to Radio Moscow, back during the Cold War, etc. Oh man. And so, yeah, as a result, to me, it's just, I really enjoy it. I do know, I kind of enjoy knowing a lot about what's going on in the world. I just do. because I live in the world, you know. Um, it's kind of crazy when I do meet people on like sometimes like I live in Portland and um, we're just gonna change the brightness and contrast. We're gonna make this a little bit brighter because right now that looks like dingy tile. That's better. There we go. And I'll move the contrast up. I do like meeting people on. Sometimes we get a lot of people from. We get a lot of international tourists and such from in Portland, and I do like sometimes on a ferry I'll talk to them, and I do know what's going on in their country, and they are surprised. Uh, I mean, one of the things is just okay. I think we just save that. We're good to go. Okay. So what we do is now we reload that because we are in indoor. There we go. Yeah, it's kind of it is kind of odd that we as Americans don't know. What the hell? What happened here? Okay. I thought. Let's just see here. Maybe we could change this manually. Oh God, damn it! I should have thought about that. We can change this manually. We didn't have to go into Photoshop at all. We could just keep it as is. We just brighten it up. Maybe move it into the orange spectrum just a bit, and see. Can we go to RGB lightness? Yeah, we can move it a little bit more to the white spectrum. Yeah, still looks like concrete though. Huh. Let's just take another look at this here. But yeah, I mean, I grew up in during the Cold War when we never knew whether some person was going to blow us up. So I always thought, hey, why don't I know who the heck is going to blow us up? How come this is not saving? I'm just going to save it as indoor um, yellow tile. For some reason, it's not coming across, and it's annoying the hell out of me. So I go to indoor textures, refresh that. Hmm. Ah, there we go. A little bit now. It's a little bit too yellow, but I kind of like the garish difference between the floor. One of the things I don't like is this wood sort of tile. No, not the tile. I'm sorry, the wood paneling. This number one, it's way out of scale now that I think about it, and number two, this sort of it looks to me just sort of cheap. This is kind of paneling that you would have on a cheap apartment. Let me just see if I can just tile this and make it look a little bit better here, because it should be the tile should be a little narrower. Arjuna, you didn't do that to us, did you? I think you did that to us. God damn you, Arjuna. Anyway, we're gonna just see, make sure that we have the proper tiling, and we're gonna make this two. No. Okay. So yeah, I guess I gotta make some adjustments on all of those, and it's fine. Yeah, I do not know why. Well, I mean, I think one of the reasons that Americans are sort of like, ignorant about foreign affairs is because really, I mean, there's been something coming into the popular discourse, this term called main character syndrome. The United States has main character syndrome, just massive main character syndrome. And for some reason, as a result, when we're young, we just, for some reason, people just don't really pay attention to what's going on in the world. And it sucks considering we have such an impact on it. Okay. Why are those so wide? Okay, no, that's not optical illusion. All right, cool. All right, we're good. I believe. Let's just make sure. Two. Yeah. Okay. Good. Um, yeah, I don't like that paneling, but for now, here's the is sometimes when you go into these older houses and around the United States, you still find this really ugly, 1970s sort of style wood paneling. Uh, so I still would like a better texture. I still don't like that because look, it looks like so much like it's being repeated, and I think that maybe that's why we went with one. We kept the texture so large. Oh boy. You see, I'm just gonna undo rather than redoing everything. We're just gonna redo or undo everything, and we're gonna go. Okay, cool, cool, cool. All right. If it's ugly, it's ugly. All right. I this now the floor is kind of like really bright. But we don't know how it's going to look until we really play it. And the best way to do that is number one, save the just bring it into our workbench scene. But oh yeah, to go back to the questions over here. The Love and Thunder. Oh yeah, somebody. Yeah, Love and Thunder. Is that the one Taika? Yeah, Thor: Love and Thunder. Yeah, that was the one that was supposed to be by Taika Waititi. And yeah, I watched a little bit of that, and I had to quit because it was just again a good start, but after that it just got into like heavy stuff that I have not seen 33 movies, so I don't understand who these people are and why I should care, and I hate that. I hate that. But I guess some people, I mean, I know I have friends who've gone to see every one of the Marvel MCU films. They have. And I guess it's like a popular thing. It's like, oh yeah, let's be up on these, the Marvel film franchise. I don't know. And I mean, that again ties into my just dislike of superheroes. Um, every time they try and do a superhero, and sometimes they do like an what was it, Doom Squad or something. They're like, oh, these are not superheroes, they're super zeros and whatever. And they try to make a bad superhero ironically. And it's like, well, oh, it's a superhero, but he's bad at his job. It's still a superhero, and it's still going to have the exact same story structure, same everything. And I've had enough. Stop making crap, Hollywood. Anyway, what we're going to do now is we're going to just take this guy, our interior intro level, and we're going to copy that because we might need to see. Yeah. And we're going to go into our white background. See? And we're just going to check this out. Why not? I can always make another. And while that's opening that, I actually need to go get another beverage. I'll be right back. And maybe before I go, I should play a little bit of a Harlan Ellison, because he did a short show, like these short, like monologue things for the Sci-Fi Channel way back in the '80s. And the first one is where he lays out who he is, and you may not like what he says, but my goodness, again, I love the man. Let's see here. All right. We're in our white brush scene. We got to go and find our focus of action here. Let's see here. MCU on everything. Okay, that's cool. Again, everybody, dude. I like. Everybody has stuff that they like. That's like, I mean, Bill Burr, a comedian here in the United States, he put it best. He said, "Everybody's got stupid crap they like." And hey, I believe it or not, was one of the people back, who watched the Jerry Springer show. Heck, if you're waking up and you need it's just if you just need something to turn your brain off and just wake up to, yeah, Jerry Springer, not bad. So hey, I have my own guilty things that I enjoy. And I'm not comparing the Jerry Springer show to Everything Everywhere All at Once, because Jerry Springer show was far superior. Oh boy, people are gonna be like, God, this guy making the game about cats is like always bragging about the story and saying he likes the Jerry Springer Show more than this movie, this critically acclaimed movie. Ah, well, hey, I love you. No. And I think the way we can get that floor tile back the way it should be looking, by the way, is I need to go back to Photoshop and undo that and resave it. So let's do that really quick. At least you didn't try to defend The Lighthouse. I just don't get that at all. That film, I mean, if you want to judge me, oh, Eric doesn't like, The Lighthouse, and that says something about what Peace Island will be, absolutely. Even though the only thing that The Lighthouse and Peace Island have in common is that there's a lighthouse in both of them. There's no vomiting, no feces, no screaming, no pointless whatever. I just no animal cruelty. I'm trying to list everything that's unpleasant in The Lighthouse and saying, nope, we're not going to have that. Because really, everything in that movie was unpleasant. And I do not understand people. If anybody really likes The Lighthouse, please get in touch with me at peaceislandllc@gmail.com and tell me why in the hell you thought it was a good film. I'm curious. No judgment on this end of the table. Because again, I like stupid films and such. But seriously, guys, come on. You got to tell me. Is it because you went with a bunch of your? I don't know. I mean, I'm wondering because it seems mostly men who like that movie, and I really hate to like put any credence in anything that Jordan Peterson says or popular culture in general, but really there's this whole thing about there's this crisis in masculinity in our country and blah blah blah. Oh bollocks! Just shut up. No, there is no crisis in masculinity. I just don't get that. I mean, and really, sorry. And because there's a crisis in, I mean, that guy who makes The Lighthouse, his films are just very, well, if you reduce manhood down to shouting, shitting, pissing, and vomiting, his films are very manly. And I guess some guys who buy into this whole Jordan Peterson pickup artist bullshit watch those movies and they're like, yeah, manly stuff. And that's the only thing that I can assume because I can't see anything else in there. And I guess that's why people fall into the trap of the Jordan Peterson pickup artist lifestyle because they look at a man pissing, vomiting, and shitting, and they're like, yeah, that's a film. You see, that's all I gotta say. For some reason, it is not letting me refresh this. Maybe I need to just refresh the entire folder. Yes, there it is. It looks like no, it's still yellow. What the hell? Okay, here's what we're gonna do. I've had enough of your BS. We're going to save it as yellow tile. Oh, I see. Do we? Come on. Where is this? Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I got to open the prefab before I can apply that. Sorry. And now, all of a sudden, it's like only one. Oh, it's because I use the texture, not the materials. Sorry. Let's see. Indoor tiles. Textures, materials. There we go. And it was indoor 17, actually. Indoor 17. Move that over. Select it, and we're going to make a slightly better, more gray, I'd say, color. And by the way, that's one of the few things I'm always like, hey, if you're into this, that, and the other, that's cool. We're all in a crazy. But seriously, this whole Jordan Peterson pickup artist bullshit is like, I don't know if they think we're reclaiming masculinity or manhood or whatever. But no, all you're doing is making men look worse. You say men are bad by nature? No, I'm just saying, just stop it. Just stop it, guys. Just stop it. And you know what I'm talking about. Just stop it. I mean, Andrew Tate and all these freaking morons that are just filling your head with craziness. No, they're wrong. They're all absolutely wrong. You know what a man? Oh, I don't know what I'm supposed to be as a man. Meditate for a second. Think for a second. That is what you are supposed to be as a man. That is what you are. I mean, you don't need anybody to tell you I'm sorry. I'm just falling into that because apparently, here's the thing: is there. I've listened to interviews with people who have fallen into that trap, and when they sort of like recover from it, and they come out of the other side of it, they unfortunately learn the only thing that they can do to counter that crazy toxic atmosphere is to just basically start their own channel and start a counter narrative. And I don't even want to get into that fight. I mean, it's just so obvious. I mean, if Andrew Tate, I don't think any Andrew Tate fans are Peace Island fans. If you are an Andrew Tate fan and a Peace Island fan, please I'm fascinated as to how you wound up here. Maybe we could deprogram you a bit because you should. Anyway, is the most insecure, chinless wonder on the planet. I mean, every time I watch one of his videos, it's just, it's hilarious to watch through. Not because he's owning it, but no, he's just so obviously wrong and stupid about everything, and I just can't believe it's. Okay, we're done with that. Where's our there we go, test spawner. Okay, we're still good. Let's drop down. Uh-oh, we have compiler errors. What's going on here? Collision control. Actually, I know a way around this. What we're going to do is we're just going to start the project in normal mode and let it play through. And after that, I'm going to have to say goodbye. Because there's always billions of things to do. And what's kind of cool about this is that I got, I was just adding some new reading material to the interior of that Nicholas thing. I'll actually cancel. I want to go into the Peace Island. Don't save. But I discovered about a dozen other things that need to be taken care of, like the floors and a few things and a few walls and other architectural issues that were incorrect. All right, have a good night, Boomer, but you've been gone for a while. I think the first Doctor Strange was kind of cool, except for the villain. Yeah. All right, well, okay. Hey, no. Go, because here's the thing. I've been going out, oh my God, for almost 2 hours. You know what? I'm going to say, if you want to know what the interior looks like, donate $1 to our Patreon, and you can download the beta, and you can take a look, okay? I didn't know I've been going for 2 freaking hours. I got to feed our kitty cats. Nighty-night. Take care. Thanks for viewing. Bye.